How can we encourage our children and students to be more active? How can we promote a healthier lifestyle? Join us today as we share one mother's story, how she turned a problem into a beautiful opportunity to share an active lifestyle with children and students around the world. Welcome back to the Preschool All-Stars podcast. I'm your host, Joy Anderson, and with me today is my good friend, Larissa Maloney. She has a master's degree in communication, and she has been helping children for many, many years to be able to get more active. She has also been a former professional beach volleyball athlete, a personal fitness trainer, and coach. And she has a super passion to be able to help children get active in their homes or in the classroom. So, Larissa, welcome to our podcast.
Thanks for having me, Joy. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I am super excited for you to be here. Can you share your story about where this mission took off? We were introduced by our good friend, Carla White. So Carla, thank you for this amazing introduction because I needed to bring Larissa onto the podcast. She's been serving our community and helping all of our teachers and moms be able to help their kiddos get more into an active lifestyle with her amazing new brand she's just going to talk about. But where did this all come from? You are the creator of Active Kids 2.0, but where did that start?
Well, it really started within me. I've grown up playing sports and I have a huge sporting background. So I grew up playing 3 sports, and that's volleyball, basketball, and I ran track in high school. I literally have been playing basketball since I was 6 years old, and I literally thought I was going to be the first girl in the NBA. That's how serious it was, right? So, after, playing sports leisurely, then it got a lot more competitive. I ended up picking up volleyball in high school, which is super late for an athlete to pick up a sport, really. But I started in high school, and then I ended up, excelling in the sport and getting a college scholarship to play volleyball down south at a school called Lynn University in Boca Raton. And went there for 4 years, had a great 4 years. And then after college, I went on to play professional beach volleyball and travel around the country, travel a little bit internationally as well, and do what I love on a daily basis. So after that, I moved back to where I grew up and I started a family. So I have 2 little kitties, a wonderful husband, and another kitty on the way. And then I decided to go back to a full-time position, and that was to be an educator. And I've been coaching and mentoring kids for over 15 years now. So I wanted to get into the personal fitness space as well in a high school setting and be able to coach volleyball at the same time. So I've been doing that for a while now. I did that in a private school, literally 5 minutes from my house. Wonderful, literally walking distance, riding my bike distance if I wanted to.
That's perfect.
Right. So, fitness instructor. And we all went through this last year at the same exact time, right? Where everything shut down back in March. It was crazy, especially as an educator, as a teacher. It was crazy for everyone, right? But especially as a teacher, we literally had a meeting on a Friday, and our principal was saying, we might go virtual, but we're probably not going to, but we might just to let you know. So we go home. I go home that night, not thinking really anything of it, because who's really thinking that the whole world's going to shut down, right?
Right.
And I literally get an email saying, we're going virtual, figure it out. So I was like, oh my God, okay. So I literally sat down, at my kitchen table, and I'm thinking, how can I do fitness with, all of my students, all of my players virtually, and keep them engaged, keep them having fun and enjoying themselves. And I just thought, and I really couldn't come up with anything. So I literally wrote down something, and I said, on a Monday, they're going to go run a mile and let me know the time. On Tuesday, they're going to be doing arms and abs or something like that. On a Wednesday, something, Thursday, something. And I wrote literally that whole list. And then I looked at that whole list and I said, okay, this is absolutely horrible. Like, come on, guys. Like, no, they would say to me, come on, coach. Like, what are you doing? During our regular sessions, they're very engaging. They're very structured. I'm not someone that, throws out a whole bunch of balls and says, go play. They're learning throughout everything that we do. So I decided, you know what? I need to do something out of the box. I'm very creative. My background is as well. And let's keep them engaged. I have a home gym, and how about I go in there and I put it live on YouTube? The kids can do it with me. And it's kind of like we're together. They feel my energy. It's kind of like we're in class. And let's just try it to see if it works out.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Let's do it. So I had a teacher friend, ask me what I was doing, for, my workouts or assignments. And I said, I'm going to hop on YouTube and I'm going to do it every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Yes. So if you want to, she asked, can I hop on? And I said, absolutely. Like it's, it's YouTube. Anyone can hop on.
Yep.
And then I put it in like a PE forum, because obviously if she's asking me, or if she's pretty lost of what she's going to do, there's probably a couple other teachers that are a little lost too. So I thought, let me put it in a PE forum too. If anybody wants to join me, I'm going to do some workouts live every day. Go ahead and hop on. So I get to that Monday. It's 9 a.m. I'm literally doing my warm up. I'm checking the computer every now and then to see who's hopping on, who's not hopping on. Right. And I have about 75 kids. And when I'm done with my warm up, there's probably about 10 to 15 kids on, or people on their viewing. Okay. Yeah. So I'm like, kids, let's go. It's now 9:05. Let's go. Right. So after I'm done explaining, how the workouts are going to go, what I'm going to do, all of a sudden, I look back on my phone to see how many kids are there. So all of a sudden, then it pops up or jumps up, not really pops up, but jumps up to 50 kids. And then it does another crazy jump to 100 kids, and then 500 kids, 1,000 kids, 7,000 kids. It was absolutely remarkable. And I didn't know if they were there for me or who they were there for. But I said, you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to go with it. So I literally did that Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. I did cardio workouts, strength workouts, and it was 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. And that's what we did. And I ended up building a awesome community because I got so many messages and Facebook, emails saying, these are great. Can you shout my class out? Can you, shout me out? I'm a PE teacher and I'm loving what you're doing. And getting messages from kids saying, we've made this a tradition in our house, and it's not only me doing it, it's grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad. So we're doing this every day. And I knew that there was something there. There was a need there. Obviously, we were all in that same state of mind where everything was unsure. We were, feeling depressed and a lot of sadness. We couldn't leave the house. So I felt like I really brought a community together, and we were sharing, the same passion that I have for just movement, moving our body and enjoying ourselves and laughing. Like, I used to bring in my son once a week, and we used to do funny dance challenges, and he used to do break dance moves, for our workout for the week. So it really created a community. And after school was out around June, I did get another load of messages saying, you can't stop. Are you going to stop?
What's next?
Yeah, exactly. So what's next? Like, what do we do? This is the tradition. So, and I said, okay, so there's still a need here. What can I do to expand this? And it's, and it's always been called Active Kids. My husband came up with the name, and I said, you know what? If there's a need, I'm going to help, and I'm going to be creative, even more, and grow it to help as many kids as I can. And so that's where it is now, Active Kids 2.0, where we've expanded to classes like karate, and we do boxing, and we do yoga, and we do cheer, and we do dance. And now I've brought in specialty sports, my sport. I've brought in volleyball and basketball and soccer. So it's not only just my cardio and strength classes, it's all of it now.
Okay, that was a lot to unpack. The
Yeah.
whole story of your principal saying, "Hey, we might go virtual." And a couple hours later, we're going virtual, figure it out. And then you from, wanting to make sure that these children were supported during this really, really difficult time, staying active, giving back to them, providing that community, and just going with it. Your very first feed, you're thinking probably, on a good day, probably 50 people if my students showed up, right? Like if they actually showed up, got out of bed, that'd be a good day. You had over 7,000 people join your very first live on YouTube. Amazing. And now you've turned it into this amazing community where people can go on demand virtual classes, have access to a slew of a beautiful active classes. Now let's go back into how can we in our homes and our schools, what are some things that we can do to promote, healthy, active lifestyles in our students and children?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a big fan of modeling the behavior for your child. So that means, there's not, in my house, there's not too much, sitting on the couch all day, and we're always wanting to do something active. So that's either, within sports, and if sports isn't your thing, that is okay. Maybe getting outside and getting into nature, going hiking, going walking, maybe that's your thing. But when your kids see you being active, they're going to want to be active with you. So modeling that behavior is huge within me, as a mom, definitely as a coach, because I jump right in there, and as a teacher as well. As a fitness instructor, it's so important. If you're sitting on the side and you're telling them to do something and you're not doing it too, they're like, now come on, coach. Like, why am I doing it and you're not doing it? So that's so important.
I love that. Families that sweat together stay together.
Yeah.
Families that are active together stay together for sure. And of course, kids want to be with their families
Yeah.
usually until they hit about teenagedom, and then a switch happens or something. But we got some good years ahead of us, especially with these preschooler kids. So
Yeah.
modeling the behavior, that's beautiful. What are some other strategies that we can do to promote that healthy lifestyle, either in our homes or our classrooms?
Yeah, absolutely. Making it fun, making it fun. If if you feel like what you're doing is boring, you best believe the kids are bored. So if you're thinking outside the box and getting creative, then you know whoever if it's your kids or your students, they're going to be a lot more engaged. I mean, I the things we used to come up with when my kids were really little, we used to go to this trail. It was a park, and it was a really nice park. It had, a playground, stuff to climb on, and it has tennis courts, but it had a trail. And we used to just walk down this trail, and I wanted to make it fun one day. So I used to bring a backpack full of little toy dinosaurs, and we used to
Ah,
call the trail Dinosaur Trail, the Dinosaur Trail. And so we used to walk around and acting like we were explorers. So this is me and my little, he was probably like 3 years
yeah.
old, 4 years old at the age. And I used to say, look over here. And I used to shake a bush, and I say, there's a dinosaur in there. And so they would go in the bushes and look, and I would throw a dinosaur in there and they would find them. So making it fun is so, so important.
Love that. So modeling the behavior as adults and teachers, and then of course making it fun. So if you're bored, your kids are going to be bored. That's amazing. In Are you still teaching, by the way, in the classroom?
I am. Yes, we're doing a dual thing. So we have some online, we have some in the class. It's crazy, but we're making it work.
That's awesome. Now, where can everybody follow you? We have talked a lot about this amazing Active Kids 2.0 program that you have, these virtual on-demand classes. So if they want their students, and here's what's really cool too. Let's talk about that, because it's not just for, parents who want to be doing these activities at home with their kids. It's, the entire family can get involved, which you said, like grandma and everybody's getting involved in these classes. But also you've expanded that. So it's not just in the home, but you're actually working with schools. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're working with preschools, daycares, and private public schools, all the way up from toddler all the way up to 18. So it's really cool, and it's called Active Schools. So what we do, they have access to everything. So if they have little tots, we have toddler time. It is adorable. They move their bodies while singing songs, while learning shapes and colors and all that cool stuff. And as they grow older, the program grows with them. So we have the karate boxing for the kids, elementary, middle school. And then we have like the cardio strength classes for the kids that are growing up in high school. So it's a progression, and we've made it a progression on purpose, especially for the active schools, because I know how teachers are. I'm an educator as well. We love to see progression. We love to see the kids progress and those milestones to be met. So in our program, there are milestones to be met, and all of our classes are designed to see that progression within your students.
That's awesome. And what I've loved so much is you've found like this very specific niche that was not catered to, was not being helped, it was not being served. I mean, when I go try to find videos for my own, 8-year-old son, I'm searching YouTube and I find a couple ones that, are kid-ish, they got Spider-Man in the background somehow or something, kids
Yeah.
doing yoga poses, but it's a slew of, and then you got ads coming on and you got to go search for the videos first. It's just not a good experience. It's one of those really painful things of just like, okay, well, like, let's just change that, right? Let's just give an amazing experience where we can just, immediately be able to have access to these wonderful videos that are carefully curated just for not only children, but the whole family experience. So bravo, props all around. Like I'm so glad you brought this to the world. So where can everybody go immediately get access, get into this on-demand classes?
Sure. Our website is www.activekids2.com. I also have a wonderful gift for all of your audience, your listeners. And so it's when you put in the code preschool 10, the number 10, you get a 7-day free trial and you get 10% off your full membership.
Oh, baby. Thank you so much for sharing that with everybody. Okay, so everybody needs to go to activekids2.com, and that's the number 2. And then be sure to add in the code preschool 10. And there's no hyphen in the word preschool, friends. So preschool 10 with a 10 will get you an amazing package there of what you can be able to get. So thank you for offering that to everybody. That's amazing. Thank you.
Absolutely. And if you want to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, we are definitely on there at Active Kids 2.0. I'm on there too, Larissa.Maloney. So check us out on Instagram and Facebook too.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you again, Larissa, for being on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
If you love today's episode, then you are going to love this. I want to give you a free gift in your hands. This is a copy of my book, Start Your Preschool, and I want to get it to you for free. Yes, I said for free. It is a 300-page book. It'll help you learn the step-by-step process to actually starting your local or your online preschool. Every single step that I walked myself through, as well as the thousands of women who've created their own successful preschools, have gone through the exact steps listed in this book. Not to mention, I also share 20 amazing women's stories. So you can see how not only did it work for me, but it works for amazing women just like you as well. I want to get you this free copy. Just go to freepreschoolbook.com or click the link in the description and we'll get it to you today. Again, just go to freepreschoolbook.com and we'll get it right to you.